Okay, so today we're talking about the triggers of our past. Ooh, those little triggers. So my boyfriend and I, at the time, this was about 4 years ago, my boyfriend and I were driving down the road, and I was in the passenger seat. He was driving, and he had made a comment, and I forget exactly what it was about, but he kind of just he tapped his hand on my leg and said, "Don't worry, princess. It's okay. I've got this." And I went nuts. I lost it. You would think that I was like he had just made fun of my mother or something, because I went nuts. I was like, blah, 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 blah. You don't ever call me a princess. And, da, 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 da. And he looked at me. He had his eyeballs like this. Like, what is this bitch doing right now? So all I could do was just sit there quietly. And I just sat there and I contemplated. And I'm like, what the F just happened? And I had kind of I had just kind of woken up, and I had kind of been connecting the dots, and I've been paying attention to myself, and I had just started on my path. So I knew enough to know that obviously I reacted that way for a reason. So I remembered, and in that moment, I remembered that a particular somebody in my life was not very nice to me when I was younger. And one of the things that he used to say and call me was a princess. And in fact, I used to tell all of my boyfriends that, and I didn't remember this until I was driving down the road with my current boyfriend. That I remember that I used to tell all my boyfriends, "Don't ever call me princess. I don't want to hear the word princess out of your mouth. Don't even try it." And they all knew that princess was no go for Jody. So my poor innocent little current boyfriend just kind of sat there like, okay, what is she doing? And what did I just say that was so wrong? Because he's very loving and gentle and kind. He wasn't doing it to, poke and jab and dig at me at all. So then in that moment, I had a choice. And granted, my ego was like, no, I'm not going to say I'm sorry. Because a part of me was like, a big part of me was embarrassed and ashamed. Like, I can't even believe what I just did. And so I admitted, and I told him, and I said, I'm really sorry. This had nothing to do with you, and this had everything to do with me. And he knew about, the term princess, but he was just using it, very lovingly and gentle. And so we kind of both laughed about it later, and we were able to move on. But that's what happens when there's certain things that happen in our past, and there's certain things that people say and do to us. We hold on to them. And we end up putting them on the person that we're with, who chances are probably really loves us. And they mean nothing by it. It's just the way that we take it. Except it's just triggering something to rise up and come out. And it really has nothing to do with that person. And it has everything to do with us and how we perceive it. So it really is just about letting ourselves let that go. Be willing just to say, you know what? It's a word. This isn't how the person means it. It's no big deal. This is not that person. So whether it's an ex, whether it's your mother, whether it's your father, whether it's a stepfather, your stepmother, a teacher, when those little triggers pop up, just stop and ask yourself, does this have to do with that person? Or am I carrying something from the past and placing it onto this person? Be courageous and really be able to look inside and be even more courageous and be willing to admit your faults, because it's only going to improve your life, and it's only going to allow your love to come in. All right, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day that is absolutely filled with love, and pay attention to those triggers. See you later, guys.